Salut les amis, donc aujourd'hui on se balade un petit peu, on a changé de style, aujourd'hui on est un petit peu en mode art graphique et je suis avec le long time brethren, Mr. Toxic, aka Tox.
Alright,
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm in Paris, trying not to get a gilet jaune.
Yeah,
Trying
but
to put on an
you're a
orange
bit
dress.
yellow, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
This is that Black Panther Wakanda stuff going on.
So I'm glad to see you, I think we didn't see each other since maybe 2 years.
Yeah, man. Last time,
Travel a lot.
yeah, when we were at Delhi Drop.
Yeah, so big up the daily drop,
Delhi
anytime.
Drop.
And I'm glad to find you back in good shape. And you're in Paris because there is an exhibition on you.
Exhibition, articles. First of all, my son. I come to see my son. Any excuse to come to Paris to hang out with my son, that's it.
So the son must be proud of the dad.
I guess
And
so.
the dad must be proud of the son
I
too,
hope
you know?
it's mutual.
Nice.
Have an Irie vibe going on there, man.
So let's talk a little bit of your history. So you start graffiti or tag, in the late 70s.
Late 70s, early 80s, 79, 1980s, we started writing in our neighborhood, but we grew up in a neighborhood where we had Grandmaster Flash and we had the gangs and the beginning of, the Black Spades, and it became the Zulu Nations and the Crews.
The
And
Bronx?
Yeah, I grew up in the Bronx.
New York?
Mitchell Projects in the Bronx, 138 Massive, hold me down, hold tight, And it was something we had to do with ourselves. It was just for us, man. We didn't care about anything else. We just wanted to make a mess, man. I think we just wanted to
It was about make a mess, being rebel.
Yeah, man. We just, we're in some anti-Babylon business, Anti-Babylon business.
So I guess that at that time it was just about the vibes and enjoy yourself and
It
maybe
was
be
just-
against the system.
Yeah, we realized a long time ago we were never part of that system. So we only had each other, and we all come from the islands. All of us come from back home. So it was just easy for us to stay together. It made sense. We weren't a gang. We were just a big family.
But you never knew it gonna come so big.
None of us thought about any of this, man. I don't think, I think I say dudes because they're not even my brothers, man. But anytime you sell your soul for vanitas, man, and you do things for vanity, and you give up your life for money and your thoughts and your ideas, man, and then that's, then you play that Babylon system. I understand knowing the beast to destroy the beast, but you become the beast, and there's a problem.
True, nice work.
There's a problem.
What were your first souvenir of drawing? Maybe as a kid?
Stevie Wonder's album, First Sight Fulfillment, that album with Boogie on Reggae Woman, that album cover where it's like orange, brown, and white, where he has the glasses and the star in his glasses, that, I was like, wow. And I think that was the first thing I ever tried to draw, was a Stevie Wonder album cover.
So you copied
I tried
that
to
thing.
copy a Stevie
Okay.
Wonder album cover for a long time, man.
So finally, since day one, it's mystic because it's the music.
Yeah,
Who put
it's
you into the
always,
game.
Yeah, man, it's always been the music, man. I couldn't draw my mother's albums from Joseph Parrish and the Hot Shots and stuff like that, and Lord Kitchener albums and Mighty Sparrow albums, because there's like pictures and all the colors and the stuff. But when I saw that Stevie Wonder album, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Nice.
I was like, this is it, Stevie Wonder. I was like, Stevie Wonder.
What is the zone you put yourself in when you draw, when you create? You have a special discipline, you have a special flex?
Man, when the last paintings I made at the house, I've been just listening to old Studio One stuff on vinyl. Level Thompson, Mr. Perry, like a whole bunch of crazy old vinyls, man. So, and I'm playing cassettes and reels and tapes, and I haven't listened to the radio in I don't know how long, but I'm just playing old dub plates. I'm listening to like Stone Love sound system tapes from like the 80s. I'm listening to like, wow. Ah, man, I've been listening to like Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin, the singer, not the
Nah, I'm
movie
not
actor,
talking about
the real,
that
the
guy.
general.
That Charlie Chaplin didn't make any sounds. I'm talking about Mr. Chaplin.
So you're from the Caribbean?
Yeah.
So it's because coming from the Caribbean, reggae took an important part into your life?
When I was growing up, man, my cousins, the first time I went to the islands, they used to call us chicken thieves, you know? They used to, you know? It's like, you got dreads, Ross, you can't come in, you chicken thief, you know? You steal chicken and ting, boy. And I was like, what are you talking about, we steal chickens? We don't eat that shit. But anyway, I was like, but you can have what, you know? And it was hard on the islands because they didn't know where we were coming from at that point. And I remember it was like maybe, I think it was like 12 or 13. It was a year before Bob passed. And I heard in St. Croix, I was walking in Christiansted, and I heard the dub version of Jammin', and I just stopped. And I was like, okay, I get this now. So when I dreaded at the time in the States, when I was 13, I had to cut my hair when I was 16 because of high school. But when I cut my hair the first time and I let it grow back the second time, I was like, I'm never gonna cut my hair again. And I didn't cut it until my father passed. And that's out of respect to my family in Sudan and the whole part of his family.
So graffiti is also a discipline of hip hop. So
Constant.
rap music is also a big part of your life.
Rap music, sound systems, loud music, people in the street dancing, having a good time. Rum and cokes, man. If you don't have rum and cokes, there's a problem. You know, rice and beans. You know, I like plantains. You know, I just come from that, and I keep that, and we've always kept that as part of what we, you know, what we do, who we are. It's like I can't not forget who I am to become something else. This is it. All imperfections included. This is it.
Nice. Then you meet Basquiat. Oh, you say that in English. Basquiat?
Yeah, Basquiat.
Basquiat.
Yeah, he's French name. Haitian.
And yeah, he's from Haiti.
Haiti
So
and
he
Puerto
was-
Rican.
Yeah. Ah, he's half Puerto Rican?
His mother was Puerto Rican.
never
That's
knew
why,
that, you know.
that's why we linked up, man.
Okay,
My mother was
nice.
Puerto Rican. My dad's from Trinidad. His mom was Puerto Rican. His dad was from Haiti. It was like, okay, dude, you understand everything. We were just laughing all the time.
Okay,
We
so
used
it
to
was
just look at
logic.
each- I was his little brother. He was just like, I always wanted a little brother. He's got two sisters. He's like, you're my little brother. I was like, cool.
And you made a crew with a third guy named Ramelzi?
Ramelzi, we made the Hollywood Africans because when we went out to LA, we walked around Man's Chinese Theater, you know, where everybody has the footprints and the handprints, man. And there were no black people, man. And we were just kind of like, what's up with this? There's no black people here, you know? And they were writing all these stories about us in the newspapers, like we were there, vandals and doing this stuff. And we made a T-shirt, and then Jean made the painting. But we were talking about how could 3 unknown black people from New York become more famous than any black actor that we watched and we admired. So then you understand the level of Babylon there.
True. And can we say that you know, Hollywood Africa was, even if it's not the same period of time, but can we refer it to the song of Public Enemy, Burn Hollywood Burn?
Oh,
Kind
yeah.
of same idea.
Those, you know, Brother Chuck, Flav, those were the discussions always. I don't think, you know, whoever didn't talk about what was really going on, they weren't really down. Because those of us who knew what was really going on in that daily struggle and shit, man, you could not pretend that like just because you got some little bit of money in your pocket, you don't remember where you come from and what's going on. My people suffer, man. I suffer too. It's like simple.
So it was a way to express yourself.
It was just to say that this shit is happening, you know, and don't forget it. No matter how many contracts you sign, who gives you sneakers for free, and how many Coca-Colas they give you for free, or whatever drinks and hats they make you wear for free like a clown, you don't forget where you come from. And I see now a lot of brothers going back to where they come from, because at one point, you know, you lose sponsorships, you know.
True. You met also Andy Warhol at the same
Yeah,
time?
I met Andy when I was about like 15, 16 years old, man. I didn't know how to figure that out. And then, you know, because I didn't go to art school, but when I figured him out and what he was really about, he was really curious about us. But not like, it wasn't like this weird curious. He just really wanted to know what we were thinking, why we were dressing the way we dressed. He wanted to understand the music, and he was an old man at the time almost, you know, in his 60s or something, and he just opened the doors to us and gave us love. And once he did that, everybody else, it was a period in New York where you had like Rastas, punks, rich kids, poor kids, all hanging out because of the music and the art.
So he was really curious in a genuine way,
Yeah, he
not
was real
colonialist
genuine.
way.
Nah, he didn't. Well, he didn't put any of us on. You know what I mean? He didn't help any of us really.
Okay.
He helped us in a way that it's even more than that. He wasn't like, here's money. He was just like, here, I'm gonna introduce you to this and pay attention to what's going on. That's the part that people forget. It's you've always had through, like, you can go like to Mr. Blackburn, Mr. Blackwell, you can go back to like Mr. Chin, you can go back to all these people who are not, and it's not your color, man, it's about where your heart and your soul is, man. So, you know, people keep getting mixed up about when they hear certain things with Public Enemy, it's about a consciousness, man. It has nothing to do with a color, man.
No, true.
I paint in colors and I don't see colors. You down or you're not down. You're righteous and you're living, you know, and then you do whatever you do. And you know, it's not my place to judge the next man. You do what you have to do to take care of your family and yourself. And I love you. I love you. I got nothing but love for you, man. Do I want to hang out with you and stuff like that? No.
Nice. Can we say that the factory of Andy Warhol was a kind of pot about boiling creativity?
Yeah, man. He tapped into that, man. I think he was probably one of the first people. And every time I want to do things with other artists, bring in music and painting and sculpture and video, I always reference Andy because he had an open door, and the only thing you had to do to walk in that door was be creative.
So we consider the result today. His stuff was pop art, and your thing is more like what, hip hop art?
I don't know what they're gonna call it next, man. I'm still just trying. First, I'm trying to be a man. I'm waiting for him to just call me a man, not a black man, not a Caribbean, and there shouldn't be Mexicans and Salvadorians, and we could just be humans. But we get to that. That's a next time we talk about this. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna call it next. This is just me working out my moment in time on this planet. And I'm seeing things in colors and lines, and that's how I'm seeing things. Because I like what I'm seeing is not right. So I'm just trying to put something out there that I like to look at, and it's crazy that other people like seeing what I'm putting out there, which means I'm not completely lost in my head and my colors and what I'm doing.
Let me say what you do is abstract graffiti.
You know, in order to, you know, you have to control a line to break a line. I take that as a compliment.
Do you think that art is like love? It can be unlimited, not granted, and you finally, when you do art, you don't wait anything in return.
No, yeah, I think that's, you know, you said something point on, man. That's solid stuff. You know, it's you know, it's like why you make music. It's not because of anybody else or why you were doing it before. And if people now appreciate you and they want you to spin and hear for other people to hear you and stuff like that, you do this is because it's for you, you know? And then if you get the appreciation of your elders and then the people that you looked up to and you get to work with them and they consider you like them, I think that's it. You made it. I don't think you go anything beyond that. I think when I sat with Sun Ra and Ornette Coleman or Miles Davis, or I can name so many people, and I just sit and talk to them about like everything. We talk about basketball games, we talk about records we like, and just to be normal, just to be in a human vibe, man, human dimension, man. There's no price for that, man. You couldn't sponsor that, man.
So now you move to Europe.
Yeah.
Does that change your perspective on people or on art coming from the Bronx, New York?
Nah. What I think now is that I have to keep going further and further ahead so they can keep following. I got to keep kicking in doors and smashing windows and burning shit so they know they can keep coming behind me. You know, I never wanted to be in that position to be there. Like all my friends were there, but if I have to do that now, then I must do that now because they did that for me. So I find myself in a position where what I leave for the youth is a hope and a chance to believe in themselves, and that, yeah, just because you come from this you should be able to protect yourself there and in the future, not just what someone's going to tell you, this is it, because it is final. Your life is infinite, man. This thing we're living now is infinite.
Yeah, true. And I didn't knew you when you were young, because you're a little bit older than me. But I know you good now, and I can still see the flame, and you still have that rebellious fire, you know,
Man,
that push you in the beginning, you know.
a hungry man is a hungry man. Angry man, you know. Didn't change, you know. Change the clothes. Clothes don't make a man.
It's
you know,
true.
man.
And you know, I realized that they took graffiti off the street, and they start calling it street art.
Oh man, we were talking about this. I was having this talk with Mo too about how even music got recolonized, you know? And how art got recolonized. So it's like, okay, you make it, but now we're gonna take it back, and now we're gonna tell you how you're supposed to make it. And we were like, oh man, that's some real straight up colonial business. It's like, I'm gonna buy rum from dudes in Scandinavia. Wait, hold on. But you know, they could make good rum too. But take in consideration that unless you have somebody from the islands working with them in Scandinavia, it's like you don't buy a Swiss watch from somebody in Ecuador. You know what I mean? So this whole, I don't know if it's the globalization or maybe this dehumanization of shit, you know? But, you know, we have to always, if you don't know your roots, man, if you don't know your roots, and we always talk about this thing about our roots, you know, your roots, branch, leaf, or stem, you know what I mean? So you're all part of it, but you have to realize where you are and what part you are of this one thing, man. And I always wonder if people get when you feel it in this one drop and in this one love and this one. Do you understand that one is all of us?
But it was
one is real big.
basically.
Basically, you know, people gave up. People gave in, man. People didn't stand up and fight for anything, and you know, it got taken and given back and taken and given back, and then you have to always go back to where it comes from to find out what it really was anyway. So you can't erase where it comes from, no matter how hard you try. And they took it from the streets took it back. They took it back, and that's that struggle, man. It's always going to be that good and evil struggle there, man. Until you have people doing righteous things with what they're doing.
It was a saying of Marcus Garvey, who said, if you don't know your roots, you can go further, and you won't go far in the future.
LeBron James opening a school, P. Diddy opening a school, you know? And then you can think about all of those other guys that they just rent airplanes and they're like style and patin. But, you know, the dudes who went back to their roots and said, this is where we got to start. That's enough love and respect.
You think it's something you can do one day? Open a school?
Yeah, that's what I've been wanting to do for the longest time, man. That's the thing I've been wanting to do for a long. Like actually this year I'm working on a lot of projects with here and with kids from Saint Denis that are almost being kicked out of school. Like my son, he almost got kicked out of Education Nationale, man. And I had to go see like, you know, psychiatrists and all that shit. And then I said, well, if I can go back and work with art projects with them, maybe that would help. And that's what we're doing this year.
Nice.
Next
So
year,
we're gonna end up with something else. On your Instagram, on your personal Instagram, you have a hashtag named Keeping It Moving. Is that hashtag a way to reinvent yourself every day?
Keeping it moving.
So each time you put the picture, you say keeping it moving, you know.
Keeping it moving, man. It just keeps going. Hey, man, it's easy. Forward. Keep it moving forward, man. Keeping it moving forward, man. I'm going forward. I'm not getting stuck. I'm not stopping. I'm keeping it moving, and I'm going forward.
So you keep moving and you keep creative.
Have to.
So it's the way to not be the snake who bite his own tail.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, hell no.
Hell no. Easy. You know? Nah, man. That's like about being a lion, you know? It's about going forward. It's some really crazy thing. When I leave my house, right, I could leave my phone and my wallet. But once I step out the door, I just keep going. I don't go back.
You never go back.
Nah, I go back when I'm finished, when I'm started out to do that.
Which is good, and which leads you to Paris today. You have an exhibition Rue de Varennes, 19 Rue de Varennes, till January, donc jusqu'à janvier. Vous pouvez venir voir les œuvres de Toxic en vivant et en direct. What was the name of the gallery?
Secret Gallery.
Voilà, Secret Gallery, 19 Rue de Varennes, dans le 7e à Paris, jusqu'en janvier. Et bah give thanks Toxic. Hein.
Thanks and praise.
It was nice.
Enough.
And see you soon. Et j'invite tous les gens donc à aller voir pour ceux qui connaissent pas. Ceux qui connaissent, ils peuvent retourner voir. Et ceux qui connaissent pas, bah, venez voir. J'espère que ça vous donne envie d'aller voir un petit peu ce qui se passe.
Alright.
One love.
One.